What is going on, Cardano friends? Welcome to the channel. My name is Fareed, and as a part of today's video, I'm actually going to be doing my first live interview on the Dapp Central YouTube channel, and I have the honor of interviewing an honorary member from the Cardano community, and that's actually going to be Stephen Ward from the VyFi protocol. And so without any further ado, Stephen, welcome to the channel. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Thanks so much for having me.
Not a problem. And so as a part of today's conversation, we're going to be diving into VyFi, what you guys are bringing to Cardano, and what we can look forward to in terms of updates in the near future. Do you mind giving us a brief intro to yourself and your background as it relates to crypto?
Yeah, so I began my career in finance, almost 8.5 years ago. I've been doing this one for a while now. I began as a hedge fund trader, and then I moved into investment advisory. I really began trading crypto back in 2016. So 2016 was when my first real attempt at the crypto markets came in. From there, I made a lot of money, then lost a lot of money, I think like everyone did in the 2017 crash. So I started basically developing my skills in trading crypto. And from there, when I discovered DeFi in 2018, 2019, I really sort of started specializing myself in trading pretty much exclusively on DeFi. From there, I began managing funds for friends and families in the DeFi space, where we ended up doing very well through 2020 and 2021. But using all these DeFi systems, I started seeing weaknesses that existed in a lot of the existing structures. So I basically set out to design a system that would solve a lot of the weaknesses as I saw them. So that's where VyFi was born. And from there, I put together this project, and now I've been working on this project for almost 2 years now. So it's been a long time.
How time flies, right?
Yeah, right. Particularly when you're having fun.
With that, I know there was 2 recent Cardano community events that actually just took place. The first was CNFT which took place in, I believe, Las Vegas. And then on the heels of that, we also had Rare Bloom, which took place in Denver, Colorado. Now, I did see the VyFi team in attendance at both of those events. Do you kind of mind talking about what your experience was like at those events and what you got out of that in regards to the, networking and the experience with the Cardano community?
I got a lot out of that. So overall, both of those events were a lot of fun. It's always good to meet the people that you're working with in person. Particularly in this job, you're very often working remotely. So full-time, I actually live in Italy. And there aren't that many projects that are building out of Italy. So I don't get to meet many people firsthand. So meeting all these teams that I've been working with for so long firsthand was absolutely terrific. Furthermore, I mean, it's a great place to meet and mingle and get things started up, start in contact with companies that you haven't had contact with before. So from meeting a lot of NFT projects at CNFT which gave us a real opportunity to, I guess you'd say, make new partnerships and shake those hands and begin talking about possible integrations and possible affiliations with projects, as well as working with larger projects such as Meld, which I spent a lot of time talking with, and we've got a few discussions in the works with them. Because, there are, I was talking to the CEO of SundaySwap, and it's really interesting that you've only got probably about 40, maybe 50 major projects that are building on Cardano. And of those 40, 50 major projects on Cardano, you'd think that it's pretty easy to meet 40 or 50 CEOs, but there are just some projects that you miss, right? And that you just realize, oh shit, I haven't really spoken to them.
Right.
So getting the opportunity to fill those gaps with the projects that you should have spoken to at this point, but you haven't, I think is probably the best thing that I got out of it.
Yeah, and I can definitely say that, I'm not obviously a CEO running any project, but the ability to be able to network and be in such close proximity with people that are in those positions, right? So meeting with CEOs like yourself. I actually got to, I believe, meet with you for a few minutes at the Meld booth. I saw you there talking with Matt Nash, but then also talking with other, CTOs and heads of projects, right? So I think it was a really good collaborative space, and I'm definitely looking forward to it again. And I'm sure that you guys will be in attendance. And one thing that I have to give you guys credit for is, attending CNFTCon, right? As a DeFi protocol, I believe the VyFi team and the Meld team were one of the few projects that were there that were DeFi related or DeFi specific, but that actually attended CNFTCon. And so I actually want to talk a little bit about the VyFi NFTs here in just a second, which is why I believe you guys were actually in attendance at CNFTCon. But with the introductions aside, let's actually dive into VyFi and what you guys are bringing to Cardano. So do you kind of mind giving us a rundown of what VyFi is for anybody who's hearing about it for the very first time?
Absolutely. Do you want me to go from the NFT perspective or the wider ecosystem perspective?
Let's start with the wider ecosystem perspective, and then we're going to kind of narrow down on the NFTs and what you guys are doing there.
This is essentially the outline of the VyFi ecosystem. And I want to basically walk through very briefly what the problems were that I saw, how we're planning on solving those problems, and a few mechanisms that we're implementing to solve that. So our ecosystem is split into four parts, right? We'll start with the middle section here, the liquidity pool and exchange. Now, this liquidity pool and exchange is a DEX in the classic sense. So users are able to provide liquidity, swap between tokens, and they're able to yield farm our token, VyFi. Now, with this DEX that we have here, what we're essentially going to see, we essentially have this mechanism whereby we take a percentage of all the trades that take place, we take that as fees, and we deliver that to our bar. And I'll go into our bar in a moment. Before I do, I'll just explain each of the rungs that we have.
Okay.
So here we have our auto harvester. Now, our auto harvester is our next product once we've completed our DEX. And this is going to essentially be a automated liquidity mining machine. So we're actually implementing AI, and that's a neural net is going to be our AI model. And we're using that neural net to essentially automatically pick and choose the best liquidity farms based on the risk levels that users want to engage with. So this is designed for new users that aren't sure how to actually engage with DeFi yet, but rather they want to be able to just select a liquidity level, press a button, and boom, you're in DeFi now. So this system allows users to just select low, medium, high risk or stablecoin risk. And from there, all of the work is taken care of. The work from farming, the work from selecting liquidity pools, managing impermanent risk, harvesting, and rolling that harvest back into the pool. So it's auto compounding, essentially. We have our trust, and our trust is essentially the fiat on-ramp for our auto harvester. So this one is further down the line again. Once we've got our auto harvester complete, we're able to apply for the licensing required to get that to allow fiat investment. Now that fiat investment essentially takes dollars and cents, and then the dollars and cents are sent into our auto harvester, and then the auto harvester does its thing, converts it back to dollars and cents, and sends it back to the users who have invested in fiat. So if we're going to break this down to different stratifications of users, which is where this idea really came from, we've got our liquidity pool and our exchange, which is designed for users that know how to liquidity mine and understand how these systems work on the blockchain and want to engage with it directly. We've got our auto harvesters for users that are new, want to learn how to use these systems, but don't yet have the experience to engage with it themselves, which allows them to offload a portion of their portfolio onto an automated investment machine. And you can also think of that kind of as an index for Cardano DeFi, right? As it's tracking Cardano DeFi as a whole and giving you a general return. And then we've got our bottom rung, which is designed for users that have got no experience in cryptocurrency, don't have the time to learn and engage with cryptocurrency on the blockchain firsthand, but still have a desire to engage with cryptocurrency risk. And for those users, they're mostly dealing in fiat, and as a result, we want them to still have the capacity to add fiat into the system and still access DeFi risk on Cardano. Now, all of these prongs are being taken and delivered to our bar. Now, let me just quickly pull up the bar here. That's the whole design, and here's the bar. The bar is the distributive mechanism for our token. So a user would stake VyFi at the bar, and then we are collecting income from all aspects of our ecosystem. They're taking 15% of all the earnings that are collected from the auto harvester, 0.05% of all the earnings that are collected from our DEX, and we're converting these into VyFi. So that essentially means that we're earning a real income on the chain, and we're using that real income on chain to buy back VyFi from the market. And while we're buying back VyFi from the market, we're distributing that VyFi through to the users that have staked their VyFi at our bar. So essentially, our token has a natural deflation to it as we're able to redistribute token to our token holders without actually minting more token. Rather, we're doing it by buying VyFi back off the market.
That's impressive.
And what's so important about that is that we are trying to essentially, I like to call it a sustainable DEX model. Most all DEXs that exist currently just mint tokens to infinity and beyond, essentially. And when you're minting tokens to infinity and beyond, you come to a real underlying issue, which is you don't have a real income that's actually supporting the value of that token. We're generating a real income from both the auto harvester and from our DEX and also from the fiat on-ramp. And furthermore, we're also generating income from our NFTs. So we're actually taking 6% of every sale from our NFT, and we're using that to purchase VyFi back off the market and distribute it to the bar. Another one that we have for that as well is our lottery. So we also have a VyFi lottery. This lottery allows users to, it's a lottery. We're the first lottery on all of Cardano. We were able to design a system that got people involved, that was able to generate randomness before we had oracles to provide us random numbers. In so doing, we're able to actually take a portion of the earnings from the lottery, and we're also going to be distributing that to our bar. So we've got a lot of these prongs that are being used to essentially purchase back VyFi from the market and distribute it back to people that hold VyFi, and at the same time purchase VyFi back off the market. Another major difference that we have is our emissions rate. So our emissions rate is actually built to last over 21 years, and it's a very slow emissions rate. To give an example, as an example, our first year's annual emission rate, so year 0th, is releasing as many tokens as MinSwap releases in a month and a half. So we've got a much more slowed down emissions rate that's designed to last for many, many years. It slows down every year, thus reducing the total supply of VyFi that's being released onto the market on an annual basis. But that change is actually taking place monthly. So here's the monthly emissions formula for the total emissions being delivered through our DEX. So what that means is that at the same time as we're generating income to buy back VyFi from the market, we've got a very restricted supply of VyFi being farmed, as well as a reducing supply of VyFi being farmed. Now, in all of this, what we're aiming to do is we're aiming to get to a point where we're actually purchasing back more VyFi from the market than what we're delivering out through farm. And if we're able to create this feedback loop, we should be able to create a system where even with supplying farm out on one side, we've actually got a net positive result in the amount of VyFi being bought the price action of VyFi, because we're purchasing more back than we're sending out. That's why I like to call it a sustainable DEX, right? That's what we're trying to build. All the other DEXs that I've seen tend to lack stability, and in large part they lack stability because they're just minting tokens, as I said earlier, out to infinity, and they don't have any actual mechanisms to either burn them or repurchase them off the market at a consistent rate. swaps such as PancakeSwap literally just burn, I think it's a flat 15% of all the tokens that they mint, which to me doesn't make much sense really, because you're just burning tokens that you're minting anyway, which means that your farm actually hasn't been impacted. All you're doing is you're saying farms now get 15% less, but you still don't have any buyback mechanism from the market. So that's the major difference in our overall ecosystem and how our overall ecosystem is going to be functioning.
Thank you for that in-depth intro there. That was actually very helpful for me too, to get a better understanding of how VyFi is working, especially with the explanation of that buyback program. It definitely sounds like you guys have a lot of different ways that you guys are planning to give benefit to VyFi token holders, and I'm really, really liking that. So again, just to kind of recap here what Steven just mentioned, VyFi is going to be an ecosystem, right, for DeFi, which also looks like you guys will be supporting, brand new oncomers into the blockchain if they want to use that auto harvesting feature. But then you guys will also be able to support people who've been in the space a little bit longer that want that specific access when it comes to actually managing how their assets are earning money for them. So you guys will be supporting token and NFT staking, the auto harvesting feature, yield farming, and just so much more. So again, thank you for that super in-depth intro as to what VyFi is bringing onto Cardano. Now, I kind of want to pivot things a little bit and just kind of talk about your collaboration with other projects here on Cardano. And so I know you guys, had stopped by the Meld booth here at CNFTCon to kind of talk and collaborate there, and so my next question to you is, what does VyFi currently have in the works when it comes to strategic partnerships, and how do those play in the overall adoption of the VyFi platform?
Of course. So one of the largest, I'd say most important parts of our ecosystem is that auto harvesting. So we're looking to work with and are working with a lot of projects that offer yield farming as part of their service, right? As we want to integrate our auto harvester into their services and essentially be a liquidity provider for those services. Now, in so doing, we want to work with as many major players as we can and be able to deliver liquidity to them through that auto harvester. Now, that requires us to have a really firm understanding of what it is that they're doing, a very firm understanding of what it is that they're constructing, how it is that their farming model functions, and also integrate their system into our auto harvester. So in the medium term, we're looking to build those connections with businesses so that we're able to be that automated liquidity provider for them. On a more local basis, more short-term basis, there are quite a few technical hurdles in constructing Cardano ecosystems and products on Cardano as a whole. So we are working with lots of businesses to essentially assist us, and we assist them in sharing our expertise and what it is that we've learned to build out what it is that they need to build out. So with Meld as an example, Meld have an existing, I don't want to call it an issue, they just have a problem that they're trying to solve regarding data migration across the blockchain, right? That is a very similar problem to what we're trying to solve. So together, we work better than apart, right? We're both trying to solve the same problem. Why would we try and solve it in isolation when we can work together to solve it? And of course, two heads are better than one, right? They're not the only product that's having data migration issues as well. Genius are another one that have got a very big need for consistent data supply on blockchain. They're also one of our partners. We also might have a lot more news coming out with Genius in the next week or so, or in the next 2 weeks or so. There's a little one. So it's essentially solving these issues that we're facing, and we're trying to face them as a team, right? Rather than trying to face them independently. And that's kind of what the Cardano DeFi Alliance is about, where we work as a team to try and solve these problems. And overall, it's all about trying to solve these issues in as time efficient a manner as possible. So that's the big thing that we're taking out of working with these larger projects. How does that assist the VyFi ecosystem as a whole? Well, that means we can hopefully come to market earlier and with a better product, right? So that's for us personally, and the same goes for the other teams as well. rather than fighting each other, collaboration, we believe, is the best way to move forwards.
I couldn't agree with you more there. And I think that that's one thing that I really felt being echoed at both of the events that we attended this past week. And I think that, collaborating with these other projects such as Meld, Genius Yield, and so forth is really going to help the ecosystem as a whole. And one thing that you touched on too that I really like is that you guys are all solving different problems, right? So there's no reason to tear each other down when we're all working to better DeFi, to create an alliance, and to bring people into Cardano, right? That's the ultimate goal. And my thing is, a rising tide raises all ships, right? So VyFi does well, so will Meld, so will Genius, and vice versa. If those projects do well and you guys are collaborating, that's also going to bring everybody up within the ecosystem. And so I'm super excited. I'm also excited about the potential teaser that we have with you guys, collaborating with Genius Yield. And that's actually something that I've kind of been touching on a little bit in some of my videos, has been the upgrades that'll be coming to Genius Yield and Genius X. And so this is a little aside here, but the Genius X team is working on a Launchpad. And if you're not familiar with Genius X, they're going to be an accelerator program, coming to Cardano, helping brand new startups achieve speed, scale, and an edge. And so has that been something that, has crossed your mind, potentially joining the Genius X Launchpad program to kind of get that aid, that assistance, and those tools that they're also providing? Or are you guys, at that state to where you guys kind of feel like you guys are able to kind of run on as is right now?
Well, we're probably not in need of an accelerator program. We've almost finished our product. We've got, our socials combined are around 50,000. And we have a lot of, community support. We've been one of the most traded tokens on Cardano, right? So I don't necessarily think we need to join the Genius X program, but there are certainly tools that they have that we would like to access, right? So we're not looking to give up portions of our business, which is what's required to join an accelerator, but we are certainly looking to use some of those tools that they've built to aid us in what we're doing. So and also at the same time, we're looking to be able to offer some of the tools that we've built for Genius to aid them in what they're doing, right? And that's where collaboration comes in. They also have a team of very experienced AI engineers. So taking their AI engineers and our AI engineers and having them work together is always an advantage, as well as facing this same data migration issue that I was discussing a moment ago. So there's a lot of avenues in which we can work together. I'm actually speaking with Sophie, who is one of the higher ups in Genius, in 2 hours time. So we've got quite a bit of discussions to do. There's nothing going to be immediately happening in the next couple of days, but it's definitely something that over the next few weeks, keep an eye out for. And more of that will come out as we sort it out, really.
Now, I want to touch on something that you just mentioned, Stephen, which was that you guys have been around on Cardano for a while, and so I have seen you guys here for a minute, and I want to say that you guys had an ISPO very early on.
Not an IPO, we did an ICO.
An ICO, I do apologize, an ICO early on, in which you guys had about 1,800 or so delegators to that initiative. Now, following that, you guys actually handed out NFTs as rewards for the community. And I think you guys kind of saw that they really adopted and, really took on a life of their own. And you guys actually started adding a utility to those NFTs. And so my next question is, what are the benefits of the VyFi NFTs? How do they fit in the ecosystem? And for anybody who's looking to purchase, a VyFi NFT, how can they do that?
So I'll start with a little bit of the story there. We started our NFT exactly as you said. We gave it for free to all the participants in our ICO. From there, we were the first project on Cardano to actually host NFT staking, where users could stake the NFT and earn something in return for staking that NFT. And we just designed that as a fun way to deliver a reward, I guess you'd say, to reward our ICO users. We thought this is a fun way to give a little bit of VyFi out to those that have supported us. Very quickly, we realized that it kind of turned into a beast of its own. We suddenly had projects approaching us saying, hey, can we also deliver our NFTs out to our holders as well? Deliver tokens out to our holders to people as well. We want to access your community. So we essentially navigated that and turned it into a kind of NFT launchpad where users could stake the NFTs and earn different projects as rewards. That's currently live on our app.vyfi.io. That's been live since last October, so over a year now, which is insane. And the other part to that as well is that we very quickly realized that if we can do it with NFTs, we can also do it with tokens. So we were also the first project that was able to release token staking. In the classic sense, where you lock it into a token staking vault and then you earn a token for a period of time. Mm-hmm. So that was last November. So that's been a year ago now that we've had token staking. And we've hosted many, many, many token staking pools and many, many, many NFT staking pools now. And we've been doing that for quite a while. If users want to be able to engage, they just need to purchase an NFT to engage with the NFT staking or purchase the token to engage with the token staking. You can purchase, we're still running our white NFT sale, which is our most common NFT type. Mm-hmm. And that is being run through our DApp. So if you go to our DApp and you scroll down to NFT sale, you can purchase it directly through there. It's 45 Cardano per NFT. If you want to engage with one of the larger NFTs, you can engage with a purple. You can buy the purples off the secondary market. I believe the floor price at the moment is 600 Cardano or 650 Cardano. And the gold NFT, which is our rarest, there's only 50 of those. The only one that I know that is up is one that's up for 8,000 Cardano. So they're a lot more difficult to come by. Again, there's only 50 of those, so they're hard to find. Now, what's coming down the line, though, is that these NFTs are going to be integrated throughout our platform using multiple mechanisms, right? And this is stuff that we're still figuring out right now. And it's something that we are working closely with, this is one of the things we're working with Meld. Because Meld have also got their NFT, their bank managers, and they're integrating their bank managers on their platform using some interesting mechanisms. And we're basically trying to learn off each other and brainstorm with each other over different ways that we're able to integrate that. Now, within that, things such as small boostings to farm if you hold an NFT, and of course, more or less boosting based on the rarity of the NFT that you hold, discounts possibly to fees on trades if you hold those NFTs, access now that we're releasing the new forms of our VyFi NFT and token vaults. So we're releasing V2 vaults in the next week or two. We're finishing up the beta testing now. Giving projects who hold those NFTs the capacity to access their own NFT vaults and token vaults for their tokens and their NFTs. There's lots of different ways that we can essentially build this to give further value down the line to the holders of that NFT. So as the ecosystem comes to fruition, that's certainly different implementations that we're going to be looking at having added.
Gotcha. So it looks like there's already a little bit of benefits, which you just highlighted, but you guys are also kind of keeping your eyes peeled to see what future use cases these NFTs could actually be used for.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Got it. Impressive. Now, I was looking at the light paper before this call, as well as the NFT white paper, which was recently released again for the VyFi NFT. So for anybody who's watching this video, if you guys are interested about finding out more about the VyFi NFTs, I'll be leaving the link to the VyFi NFT white paper down in the description below. Now, one thing that I saw that really kind of piqued my interest was the mention of an NFT Launchpad. Do you mind giving us an introduction as to what that is and what the benefits of that are when it comes to the VyFi platform?
Absolutely. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, go for it.
So if we go to NFT staking, let's go to our whites. These NFTs give you a way to access new tokens that are on the market for a very small upfront cost, right? Now, the other advantage is that the only thing that you're risking is time. You're not actually risking your capital, right? So as you hold that NFT, you're going to be earning tokens over time for an extended period of time. And then once that ends, if the project does badly, you actually haven't given up any of your Cardano, you can just go farm for another project, right? And we've had a few cases now where we've had projects that have gone defunct. We've had 2 projects that have farmed with us that have gone defunct. And then we've had 2 projects that have farmed with us that have both done, one did a 7x and the other one did a 4x.
Wow.
right? So the crypto market, is particularly in these circumstances as they are right now, is a little bit in that way. Like it is a circumstance of some are going to fail, some are going to succeed. But the advantage that this allows you is that rather than risking your Cardano and getting involved with one of these projects, you can just take up some farming time with your NFT, and then if it doesn't go well, you're already farming another one with your NFT. Thereby, there hasn't actually been, and then of course at the end of it, you can sell your NFT. So there actually hasn't been an upfront cost to you in Cardano outside of purchasing the NFT. Then from there, the risk is essentially you're earning tokens without actually risking your Cardano in gaining those tokens.
And for anybody who was also airdropped this, it's almost like an opportunity to earn tokens without necessarily having to even have purchased an NFT. So that's really cool to hear. Now we are getting a little bit close to our time here. And so I kind of want to pivot now that we've covered the core features that you guys provide. We've also talked about, the NFTs and how those kind of tie into your platform. But what I want to talk about next is, with so many updates coming to Cardano, we just saw the Vassal upgrade about a month or two back. And, we have this new era that's going to be coming up where we're going to be focusing on governance and decentralization. What is in the future for VyFi with all of these updates coming down the pipeline, and what is your future vision for the protocol?
So most immediately, we've got our V2 of our token vaults and NFT vaults that are launching. And that's allowing us to start partnering with other projects to allow those other projects to to farm their NFTs and farm their tokens. So we're already working with a few projects to set that up. And we're really excited about this opportunity as it allows us to extend our offering and have other projects, communities come onto our platform to farm that project. And then while they're there, learn about VyFi. So soon we're going to be having a community staking page that will be launched with a list of all the other communities, NFTs that you're able to engage with. We've already got, I believe, 3 launch partners that we're going to be doing that for. And that's what most immediately is going to be happening, I would say, hopefully by the end of this month. My aim is by the 1st of December. Our development on our DEX and bar is coming along really quick now. We're actually releasing videos of a run through of our swaps and the serve operation to our bar. So that means the collection of the fees within the swap and then converting those fees to VyFi and then delivering it to our bar. So we're hoping to have that up by hopefully in beta testing by the beginning of January. And if everything goes to plan, hopefully launched by the end of January, early February. So it's all really coming along fast now. We're hoping to have everything up, as I said, like the first prong of our ecosystem, we're hoping to have up by the beginning of February. We're hoping to have it all there.
Wow. Okay. And I'm actually taking a look at your roadmap right now. And so what it sounds like is early Q1 and Q2 of next year is when we can start to see things rolling out and you guys kind of taking advantage of these upgrades coming to Cardano. And so I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on you guys. Again, I really want to thank you so much for
something that is a little exciting, actually. I should add, our DEX is going to be Vassal, built for Vassal. So we should be the first, as far as I'm aware, because no other projects have done the migration required yet. We're hopefully going to be the first Vassal ready DEX on the market, which also gives us a small advantage there in terms of fees and a small advantage there in terms of speed.
Yeah, I would say that's a huge advantage. We kind of saw how Sunday Swap had all the eyeballs on them when they were the first DEX coming to Cardano, right? And so we could see something similar to where if you guys are able to launch as the first platform to take advantage of those upgrades, that you guys really see that influx there, because people might be interested in seeing, okay, we've heard so much about Vassal, how is it actually performing? And if you guys have a platform that can give people that view, I think that would be really impressive. So again, I'll be keeping an eye on you, the project as it develops.
Thank you.
And I'll be covering you guys a lot more moving forward. Now we're going to be wrapping it up here on a very light note. And so if somebody's interested in finding out more about VyFi, what you guys are doing, the roadmap and how you guys are executing, what are the ways that they can get in touch with you guys, and just where can they find you?
Yeah, so the easiest way to find us is vyfi.io, and then navigating through to our DApp, which you just press the app button, which is app.vyfi.io. But certainly follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, come join our Discord, come and have a chat. None of us bite. And if you have any questions, we're there to answer it. We speak, we talk every day on our socials. We host weekly Twitter spaces with other projects as well as for news updates. And we also have monthly Discord meetups where we chat to our community on Discord directly. So there's lots of ways to chat to us, lots of ways to get involved. And if you need help with anything, engaging in our platform or engaging with our systems, we're here to help.
Got it. Stephen Ward, CEO of VyFi, I really want to thank you so much for your time out of your busy day. Again, this has been an awesome call. If you guys want to find out more about VyFi, I'll be leaving all of the links to their socials, their white papers, and their NFT collection down in the description below. And with that said, if you guys enjoyed this video, then please make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time visiting the channel, consider subscribing. And if you guys have any questions or comments about any of the content that was covered in today's video, then make sure to leave those down below. With that said, I will see you guys in the next video.